Using rubrics to promote learning. An overview. What are rubrics and how might they be used to promote learning? Well, rubrics are assessment-related documents or tools that are typically presented in textual form as a table, grid, or matrix. They're helpful for students and assessors because they outline the expectations for students' work and help students to self-evaluate. When staff design and use rubrics, they're also articulating for themselves and potentially other colleagues who will grade the work what they're looking for when evaluating student work. Rubrics can be living documents promoting learning activities when they invite dialogue, spark student insight, and enhance student success. They can prompt students to think deeply about assessed tasks, study carefully, interact with one another, and discuss potential outcomes. We need to pay careful attention to strategies that encourage learners to work with rubrics dynamically, rather than seeing them as recipes that they should slavishly follow to maximise their grades. So, what types of rubric do we have? The literature tends to describe rubrics as either holistic or analytic. Holistic rubrics outline overall judgments of competence in each level-related column, that is, in aggregate form, without rows. In this example of a holistic rubric, you can see that the student achieved a 2-1 overall, as highlighted. By contrast, analytic rubrics provide discrete criteria and more detailed descriptions for each criterion at each level. In this example, the rubric shows the student using a range of criteria and grades where they're doing well and where they might need to improve. Both these types of rubrics can be generic, that is, the same rubric can be used across various tasks, or task-specific. Each rubric only applies to the task type for which it was designed. Using rubrics involves making decisions about the rubric's intention or purpose, including the role that rubrics can play in supporting student learning and success. Rubrics can move well beyond secret tools which only teachers see and use to score students' work, and can become developmental tools that are shared, used by, and co-constructed with our students. The research on this topic draws attention to the potential benefits and challenges associated with rubrics. Benefits include using rubrics formatively, where they can contribute to student self-assessment, self-efficacy, and the generation of self-feedback. Using rubrics as tools which explicitly give learners a chance to interrogate criteria and standards. And opening up dialogue with staff about criteria and standards, which helps students really learn what quality looks like. The challenges associated with rubrics might include the need for rubrics to be interpretable, capturing the complexity and nuance of what quality work means in the form of a rubric, the danger of rubrics being reductionist, and the risk that rubrics can turn into a recipe to be followed or a checklist to be ticked off.